Hey, examinees. Welcome to another past paper walkthroughs. This is question 18 from Edexcel IGCSE Accounting May 2024, paper 1. The question requires examinees to make wages and rent received accounts. Such questions fall under the Other Receivable and Other Payable. They seem very overwhelming to begin with, but following some simple steps can help you ace such questions. First, we begin with figuring out whether the account we are making is an expense or income. We are dealing with wages here, so it's an expense. This step is important because it helps to know whether the subsequent postings should be debit or credit. Next, you write down your accounting year, the year end and beginning of the year, so your accounting year is from May 2023 to April 2024. In the next step, we try to know the opening balance. That is, we want to know what happened in the beginning and end of the year. The beginning of the year, May 2023, we see that Alex owes. Owes means you're liable, so it's account payable. Payables are liability, so it's a credit in your wages account. On the same date, we also have an advance. When we pay an expense in advance, they're payable on us, so we treat it like an other receivable. Receivables are assets, so advance expense is a debit entry. Now move to the closing balance. At the end of the year, on April 2024, we have an owed, so once again, it's an other payable and therefore credit. For step 3, we can make some rules. If the transaction is an expense owed, then it's payable and therefore credit. If the transaction is an expense paid in advance, it's a receivable, so it's debit. For income, it's opposite. Income owed is a receivable because you're supposed to receive this from someone but not received yet. So it's an asset, therefore debit. Lastly, if someone paid their rent in advance, it's a payable for you as the time hasn't come yet for the tenant to enjoy the place, but the money is already received. Payables are credit. In step 4, you figure out whether there was any payment or receipts throughout the year. We see in the question that there's a payment of $87,900, but what about the double entry? Okay, so a payment decreases the bank balance. Bank is an asset, so decrease in this asset would be a credit. The double entry is bank credit, expense debit. Therefore, the expense account would be debited by the amount paid for the wage. Now, we can start making the wage account. You start with balance BD. We have 2 balance BD in the beginning. On the credit side, we have $1,580. On the debit side, we have $920. Then write the bank payment in debit side, $8,700 and $900. Then write the closing balance at the end here. We have a credit closing balance of $4,230. Go up and write the income statement on the opposite side of the bank. As the bank is debit here, so the income statement goes to credit. However, we don't have the figure of the income statement. That is actually what we need to find out in this question. Write down the balance BD as balance CD in the opposite side. From your ledger account rule, you know that balance CD becomes BD, but here we are going backwards. Now you check both sides and figure out which side is complete. For me, here, the debit side is complete, means no other figure will go that side. Therefore, add that side and take the total to the other side. Now, subtract the figures in the credit side from this total to find the difference. This difference is the income statement. Don't forget the dates. Balance BD on both sides would be beginning of the year date, May 2023. Bank would be end of the year, April 2024, as no specific date is mentioned. Income statement is end of year date as well. Balance CD is end of year as well, but the date on top is same, so we don't repeat. The balance BD at the end is the beginning of next year date, which is May 2024. Now move to the next requirement, rent received account. We use the same steps. In step 1, we figure out that it's an income as rent received is an income. Step 2 is the same, no changes. Now come to step 3, opening balance. On May 2023, we have income received in advance. According to the rules of step 3, advance income received is a payable, so it's credit. The closing balance in April 2024 is also an advance, so again, it's a credit. Then, step 4, check for any receipts throughout the year. Alex received $7,800 throughout the year. What about the double entry? A receipt is an increase in bank balance, so bank is debit as it's an asset, so the income account is credit. Since we are making the income account, we credit the account by the amount received. Now we can start making the rent received account. We begin with the balance BD, $800, on the credit side. Then put the closing balance down on the credit side, $1,300 as balance BD. Put the bank on the credit side. Post the income statement on the opposite side of bank. Bank is on credit, so income statement on debit side. Then take the balance, BD, from down to the opposite side as balance, CD. Now, check which side is complete. So I add up the figures. The total we got will go to the other side as total. I then use this total to find the difference in the debit side. This difference is the income statement. 3. The bank would be end of year date April 2024, as no specific date mentioned. For income statement, we put the end of year date, April 2024. For balance CD, we put end of year date, and balance BD, the beginning of next year date. And that wraps up the complete explanation of this question. For such questions, you go back to find the income statement rather than regular ledger accounts, where you have all figures ready and then close the account. I hope this helped you understand the concepts more clearly and feel more confident for your next exam. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more detailed solution videos and study tips. Feel free to drop any questions.